You know, it feels like every single day there's another headline screaming about how AI is going to completely reinvent business. The promise is huge, right? We're talking unbelievable productivity, super personalized customer experiences, and just explosive growth. But with all this hype, what's actually happening out there? Let's dive in.
And hey, business leaders are definitely all in on the idea. I mean, according to a major study by Accenture, a staggering 97% of executives believe generative AI is going to be transformative, not just for their company, but for their entire industry. That's about as close to universal agreement as you'll ever get in a boardroom. But hold on, if everyone agrees it's the future, why isn't every single company already an AI-powered machine? Well, it turns out there's this massive gap between believing in AI's potential and actually, making it work.
And here it is. Here's the reality check. That same Accenture research, it found that only a tiny fraction, just 8% of companies, are what they call front-runners. These are the ones who are actually successfully scaling AI across their entire business. Think about that for a second. We go from 97% belief down to just 8% success. That's a huge divide.
So that really brings us to the big question we're tackling in this explainer. What are these front-runners doing that pretty much everyone else isn't? What is their secret to turning all that AI hype into real, tangible results?
To figure that out, we first need to get a really good look at the hurdles. So let's explore this gap between ambition and execution, what we're calling the Great AI Divide.
And these barriers, they really create a kind of domino effect. It all starts with the foundation. Nearly half of leaders say their data just isn't ready for AI. And because of that, a tiny 9% have even gotten a single AI use case fully off the ground. This leads straight to a value gap, where 3/4 of companies just aren't seeing any measurable return. It's kind of this weird paradox of massive investment for minimal results.
Okay, so enough of the problems. Let's flip this around and talk about solutions. The best way to understand what works is to look at that 8%, the real companies that are getting real measurable results.
All right, so one of the biggest places AI is making a real difference, like right now, is in customer service. And this is a perfect example of moving way beyond those simple chatbots to truly reinventing the whole customer experience.
So take Best Buy. They had a classic problem. A huge volume of customer questions that led to long waits and, let's be honest, inconsistent answers. So instead of just some little pilot project, they went big. They deployed generative AI across the board. For customers, they've got a smart virtual assistant that can handle almost anything. And for their human agents, AI tools are giving them real-time suggestions and info. The key here is this dual approach improved everything. You get happier customers and more effective employees. It's a win-win.
But it's not just about customer-facing stuff. That top 8%, they're also embedding AI deep into their core operations, completely changing how things are designed and built.
And this is a brilliant example. A major global car company used generative AI to quickly create and test new design ideas, which just slashed their development time. At the same time, they used other AI models to analyze their supply chain in real time, letting them predict and stop bottlenecks before they could even happen. And the results? They're amazing. A 40% cut in development time and a 25% drop in disruptions. That's not just a small tweak, that's transforming the core of the business. Okay, so when you see examples like that, you start to realize the secret isn't just one magic AI tool. It's a strategic blueprint. It's all about building the right foundation that lets these incredible projects succeed and, importantly, grow.
Yeah, so research from firms like Accenture and SAS shows there's this really clear 3-step blueprint that the frontrunners are all following. First, you have to build a strong digital core. Then it's all about reinventing your talent and how people work. And finally, every single thing you do has to be led by real business value and built on a foundation of trust.
Let's start with step 1. Remember that stat from a minute ago? This is it. Almost half of top execs admit their own data is the #1 thing holding them back. You just can't build powerful AI on a messy, siloed foundation. It's impossible. A modern data platform isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It is the absolute first move you have to make.
Now, step 2, the people part. And look at this, it's such a wild contrast. You've got 95% of employees who are genuinely excited and eager to work with AI, but then companies are totally failing to meet that excitement. Only 5% of the workforce has actually been fully trained. This isn't a technology gap, right? It's a training and strategy gap. The frontrunners know this, and they close this gap by investing heavily in their people.
And finally, step 3, leading with value and trust. This is where the whole idea of responsible AI becomes so important. And this isn't just about checking a box for the legal team. It's a strategic choice to build AI that is fair, that's transparent, and that you can hold accountable. In a world full of black box algorithms, being the company that can explain its AI's decisions, well, that builds massive trust, and that is a serious competitive advantage.
So, let's bring this all together. Making that leap from the 97% who are just talking about AI to the 8% who are actually succeeding, it takes a fundamental shift in how you think about it. It's about moving from hype to reality.
And really, it boils down to two totally different mindsets. Most companies are just stuck experimenting. They're running little isolated pilot programs, they're focused on the tech for its own sake, and they're constantly fighting with messy data. The frontrunners, though, are all about reinvention. For them, AI is a core part of their strategy, it's driven by business value, and it's built on that strong digital foundation, making it a constant journey, not just a one-time project.
So, if you remember anything from this explainer, let it be these 4 things. 1. Real success with AI is a strategy, not just a tech project. 2. That strong data foundation, it's completely non-negotiable. 3. People are everything here. You have to invest in them. And 4, if you don't lead with value and build on a foundation of trust, you're just never going to scale.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. Take a good hard look at your own company, or the companies that you follow. Are they just playing around, running a few cool AI experiments in a corner, or are they truly committed to reinventing the entire business from the ground up? The answer to that question will probably tell you who's going to be leading their industry for the next decade.